The Invest in Her podcast is brought to you in part by Wells Fargo Bank. Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. So excited to be talking today about the She Angels Foundation. And I have with me today our co-founder, Kat Curry-Williams, who is also the president of our board and the vice president of our board, my dear friend, Dr. Theresa Ashby. I'm not so used to calling you doctor, so
I know.
Get that in there. I looked over at the title. I thought, I better include the doctor.
Well, you just gave away who was who.
Yeah.
And guess which one is the doctor.
Yeah.
So what I want to do first, just so people have an idea of your incredible backgrounds and who we have as a part of She Angels Foundation, I want to talk about what it is, your backgrounds, which are amazing, that lend so much to the success of our foundation, what our foundation has achieved and where it's going, and how listeners can be a part of it in so many different ways, as members, as helping us start other circles in other parts of the country. But first of all, for those of you that don't know what She Angels Foundation is we give grants to female-founded nonprofits that are helping women and girls. They have programs designed to help women and girls, because what Kat and I found when we started this was that women get a very, very tiny percentage, women and girls, of philanthropy dollars, just the same as what we're fighting for in the for-profit world with our endeavor with She Angel Investors, and also our movie, ShowHerTheMoneyMovie.com, which is about the underfunding of women in the for-profit world. But today we're talking about the underfunding in the nonprofit world, and how She Angels Foundations is addressing that issue and trying to get more funding to women and girls initiatives. Right, ladies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Kat, let's talk about your incredible background and how I was so lucky to get to be able to start the She Angels Foundation with you, because you already had a very successful nonprofit that you started more than 20 years ago, that still is in existence, still doing amazing work, which is Shane's Inspiration. So let's talk a little bit about your having started that, and then we'll weave into how we started She Angels Foundation.
Well, do you have 27 years to discuss? No, let's go back that far. Geez, I have to put on my thinking cap. Well, 27 years ago, Shane's Inspiration was founded in memory of my son, Shane. Cut to today, 27 years later, we're a global nonprofit. We just rang the NASDAQ bell in New York. And we have 80 playgrounds and all over the world, 5 continents, and have education programs in 5 different languages. And that organization is now, we have rebranded the name, let's say, to Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration, because we have changed the face of inclusion around the world. And that is amazing. I didn't know that that would even be something that would happen to us when we began that, but it was.
And people need to understand what you did was game changing. It allows handicapped children and individuals to be able to access playgrounds. And I know you started with one, probably never dreaming that it would be on every continent and all over the world. But I mean, this has just changed the face of, the ability for handicapped children and people to be able to play and enjoy playgrounds. So what a beautiful legacy, Kat, that you all
Thank
have
you.
created
And
there.
it's for everyone. The intent there in why it's called boundless or universally accessible is that it is for everyone, grandparents, children, children with disabilities to play side by side. So that's where inclusion comes. And then that will just cut right to when Catherine, you and I found the fact that 1.6% of all US funding was going to women and girls. Again,
Yeah, in the philanthropy
non
arena.
not inclusion. That's where we not included, and it's raised since 2016 to now we're at 1.8%. You and I were
I'd like to think we had something to do with that.
well, yeah, right. And we were furious about that. And so because Shane's inspiration is, a well-oiled machine and is global now, I was able uh, to complete somewhat of my mission there and take on together with you and a village of She Angels is what we have to create this organization that gives to, and we look for specifically grassroots organizations because we have found that the dollars that we were able to give them, we're at giving one grant per month, which is phenomenal that we're being able to do. We've just finished our third year as She Angels Foundation. So we're doing awesome things for these women.
And I think we've given, what is it, over 40 grants?
I think just last night or the night before might have been our 40th.
Yeah.
That's why I'm still drinking coffee this morning, trying to wake up from all this goodness that we're sharing.
Absolutely. And let me bring you into the fold here, Theresa,
Sure.
because you are our vice president of our board, starting a new program to help She Angels Foundation to expand around the country. So let's tell everybody a little bit about your background and what you're bringing to the table in this position.
Absolutely. And thank you for having us. I just, this conversation is always one of my favorite conversations to talk about She Angels. My background is I'm a strategist. I look at operations and businesses and say, where are we going to create systems and processes and efficiencies with the human aspect. And I spent many years at a very large healthcare organization where I was responsible for opening many of their hospitals. And then I was the vice president of operations over 2 hospitals. And you learn a lot, right? You learn about operations. You learn about people. You learn about the amazing people that work in hospitals, how much passion they have. But with all the work and the corporate work, I left to start my own consulting practice. And now I own Kaleidoscope Media Services, and we're just serving organizations that really want to get into the modern age of creating automation and digital products such as e-learning courses, and we're just driving that because it's so important that we talk about nonprofits, but in the entrepreneurial world, it's important that we create successes because that is actually what drives the economy, our entrepreneurs and our small business owners. So just working on that. And, actually, Catherine, I met you, gosh, many years ago, and we just formed this beautiful friendship and relationship. And then fast forward to when you said you have got to come to one of the She Angels events. And of course, in the fashion, I'm like, all right, we'll get it. And finally we got it on the calendar. And when I showed up, wow, the energy in the room, the people that are there, the angels, the She Angels that are there are just so full of gratitude and so full of giving, and we all embrace each other, and we're just building something that when people walk into the room, they have to belong, they have to join. And that is really why we're taking this nationwide. We're going to take it across the United States, called our philanthropy circles. And that is an extension of what we're already doing. We already have events that are happy hours, salons where we just come together and celebrate and we give these grants. And now we're saying, if you want to be a philanthropist, and Kat, you can explain this giving, the way we're giving, but these philanthropy circles are going to be a group of women that come together and are able to join as members, and then also opportunities to give grants in their local areas.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the expansion. It's why I wanted to have you all on today, because it's changed so much since we started it, right, Kat? And I just want to say kudos to you, Catherine, because the formula that you came up with, I think, is such a winner. And that is people come and join for $500 tax deductible, and I'll say 500 or more. And it's tax deductible. And then they become a member of She Angels Foundation, where they can come to all of our events for free, which is usually food and drinks and entertainment and just the meeting, like you said, Theresa, of wonderful human beings, just such a wonderful camaraderie. And at the events, we typically give a grant at that event. So you get to meet the people who are the recipients of the money that you're giving, which makes it all that more rich and meaningful. I think so many times we write a check, we give it to a charity, we don't really ever see where it goes or what, but you get to meet the people and see how meaningful it is to them. So it's been such a great formula. We started it right around COVID, and boy, we just had so many people come join. Like you said, it's like a magnet. They come and have such an amazing time. I think people think, wow, I couldn't be giving my money to a better cause than helping women and girls. And I'm having fun doing it, meeting so many great people. So it's the perfect combination. It's the genius of my dear friend here, Catherine Curry Williams, who is my co-founder in this whole endeavor. And we certainly invite our listeners to join. You can find us at sheangelsfoundation.org. Let's talk more about the expansion program. Kat, you want to jump in?
Thank you, Catherine. See, we're both Catherine. We figured, are there any other Catherines out there you want to join us? Come on down. We spell it with a C. I couldn't have said it better. You really included everything in what we did, what we're doing. The model is collective giving, and in doing that, we make a great impact. So Theresa touched on philanthropy, and people usually get scared of the word philanthropy. Well, I'm not a philanthropist. Well, the simple difference between charity and philanthropy, and why we're a philanthropic organization, is that we are strategically planning the giving. And charity is emotional, important, emergency emotional, neither, all are important, but we are creating, and we seek to, around the country and then around the world, a swell of philanthropy for women and girls, so we can be at the table, so we can be the leaders that we are in a room making decisions. And we need to do that by starting with with young girls and young women who didn't know this opportunity existed, or they could be as powerful as they are. And so with that, these circles give an opportunity for them to see. It will be maybe the first time that they have had the joy of seeing where they're small, which is why we have collective giving. You can take a small amount and together make a huge impact, and then they can feel good about it. It doesn't mean that you need to have millions and billions of dollars. And if they start little this way all around the country, it's the first thing that they might do for the rest of their lives that will show them that they do have power, and they have power for connection. Let's say we are the best networking that we do not call ourselves networking. How do we, this is so much joy in the community. So in the giving, we are receiving. And once you get a little bit of that juice, it's the thing that you don't want to stop doing. And Theresa is doing the other part of the emotional part, as well as the emotional. she throws in the words like strategic planning and scaling. And so all of that, I want to throw the ball back to Theresa because talking about scaling and is what we're doing now. And Catherine and I want to just tell everybody, come on down. We want to have a party. We're going to have fun. We're going to give. We're going to teach you. And Theresa is heading up these operations, which I will use the word, we are now looking for sponsors. So if you're out there and not sure what membership or sponsorship is, please reach out to us on sheangelsfoundation.org, because we need sponsors to scale and to create what Theresa has in store for us. We are moving ahead quicker than slower, for sure.
Yeah. So we started off in Los Angeles. We added New York. We have a chapter there now. We are just launching in San Diego. There's some interest in Austin. So, all over the country, we want to reach people that want to start these giving circles through She Angels Foundation, help us to expand. And we've got an infrastructure to help you do that. So you have a support system. You don't have to do it on your own. And I think that's the beauty of it. And I think some people might wonder, right, Theresa, like who we are putting our dollars towards. So I wanted to just give a couple of examples. Like, we've put it behind organizations that get behind women veterans and help them get back on their feet, women of domestic violence. Sometimes it's like women in the sciences, getting women and girls into the sciences. So it's really a really broad spectrum. I don't know if you want to mention some of the other ones that we've gotten behind.
Well, I think we've gotten behind some amazing organizations, and I love what Kat said about grassroots organizations, because it is incredible when we give these $5,000 grants. We're used to, when we have businesses, $5,000, it's tough to make it go a long ways. But the women that are running these organizations make that $5,000 grant so impactful for women and girls that it fuels their growth. And that is, I think, the key opportunity that people don't realize. A lot of us will go, $5,000? No. In fact, last night when we were having our happy hour, we had new members join because they realized the impact that their membership dollars are making in these grassroots nonprofit organizations.
Oh, it can make them or break them.
It can make them or break them.
And, speaking of 5,000, we've had many of our members who can donate an entire gift of 5,000. Yeah. So for, an entire grant, I should say. And that's possible too. Hey, it's tax deductible, and it's helping make the world a better place by getting behind these women that are doing this incredible work. And like Kat said, and in the process, bringing us so much joy. Like, what could be better? Hello, there's a combination.
Well, and I want to say something about that $5,000, because I think many organizations, and it goes back to how this organization has created opportunity. So often when you give money to an organization, you want it to go directly to the person you're serving, right? This is why this $5,000 is so important. And that's where your membership dollars go to. That entire membership, all those membership dollars that you contribute, whether it's $500 to $25,000 to $50,000. And we have people that are so into our organization that this is where we are in our growth trajectory, that people are donating a lot more money than when we first started out 3 years ago, that it goes 100% to the recipient. And this is why now, because we're in 3 years, and by the way, if anybody knows how business grows, 3 years, what we've accomplished is extraordinary. And where we're taking this organization in the next couple of years is extraordinary. This is why now, because of growth, we say, okay, now we need sponsorships, because those sponsorship dollars help us grow the organization. And just
really,
want those two things to be very clear.
And what company doesn't want to get behind saying, hey, I support women and girls initiatives?
That's right.
Especially these people out there that have women and girls, men and women that have daughters. It's so important that we get behind something like She Angels Foundation, because women and girls get 1.6% or 1.8%, or let's just say under 2%. So let's, we need your support. If you're an insurance company, or you're a clothing company, or you're some sort of company out there that wants to show your support, this is the place to put your money behind as far as your philanthropy goes. So we need sponsors. Basically, that's what we're telling you out there. If you own a company, please contact sheangelsfoundation.org. We would love to have your support.
And if you're interested in starting a philanthropy giving circles, we call it our PCP. So it's Philanthropy Circles Program. Okay. Okay, that's what it's called. In short, I see it in my head. But it's like starting a book club, and then you just invite a few friends, and then we get to share what we do. You don't have to start your own nonprofit. We help you vet, but you get each one of those communities, they have grassroots organization helping their community. Well, if you live in a community and you start your giving circle there, that we are champions of, and walk you through and come there and speak wherever you are in the country, those organizations in your own community, you'll be able to reach out to them. They'll be able to submit a grant we have a grant application form on our website that you can do if you're just listening and have a nonprofit. But then it's really right in your own backyard. So,
and I think you just hit on the most important thing, Kat, and that is this. A lot of people want to have their own nonprofit, but how, it can be expensive to start a nonprofit, and it take a lot of knowledge. What a perfect opportunity to have your own giving circle within She Angels Foundation, so you don't have to go and pay for all the infrastructure of creating your own nonprofit, but this can be your own giving circle within She Angels Foundation. So if you've ever wanted to start a nonprofit, this is the easiest way to join our club and start one in your area through our strategic planning program.
We give hope to the places that might seem very, it's a sad day. It's hard. And we want to just help you reframe that and be here to have you express that in your own community. And, it might seem like a small thing, but it's not a small thing at all. It's, and the dollars might seem, again, as Theresa was saying, small, but the impact of collective giving is just so extraordinary. And until you're in it, you don't realize, like, oh, even if you're 22 years old and you want to start a circle, or in that, if you didn't have one Starbucks 3 times a week, your dollars from that, literally, even we have junior members joining us at a less of a dollar amount for their contribution. It's so important to see that little bit can go so far. I know I've said that over and over again. I have a daughter who's 24 also, and I know that she listens to every word and shares that with her friends. That wasn't the conversation. It's not everybody's conversation. We just want you talking about it. And if we're here and we can help you expand that conversation, that's our intention.
Yeah. How to become a philanthropist. It's easy. It's joyful. I know, Theresa, you're all about karma. It's about karma, right? It's paying it forward. It comes back 1,000-fold. The joy of being a part of She Angels Foundation has been a great one for all of us. We welcome you to join us wherever you are in the country. It's so great to be part of an entity where we are giving grants to female-founded nonprofits that are helping women and girls. So female-founded nonprofits that are helping women and girls, that's where your money goes to. That's where the grants go to. That's where the magic's made. we welcome you to join our organization, SheAngelsFoundation.org. Any closing words, Therese?
I just cannot wait to meet the people that are here listening to us, and come on in and you will see what impact you can have.
Yes, and go right to the website if you want to see who we give to, because it's a diverse portfolio of women and girl organizations. And that's why when someone asks specifically what they are, there are so many and they're so diverse that we've put links on our website so you can just go right in and get linked right to who we are supporting. And we want you to support our next program, which isn't the grant program, but again, that's the Philanthropy Circles Giving Program. So
yeah, thank you so much both for being on. It's incredible to be a part of these incredible women that we've attracted into membership, and it keeps growing exponentially every year. Please join us, SheAngelsFoundation.org. And thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
thank you for
Thanks
having
for
us.
tuning in, everybody. Make it a great day and make it a day of giving back and paying it forward. Thank you for tuning in.